that are mainly male composed, with the glass ceiling that you may have seen, sometimes taking the role, a very important leadership role, and maybe wondering if you were paid as much as a man in the same position. My big question is that when I saw that Tom Peters, the co-author of In Search of Excellence, wrote, "The world could be," I quote, "the world could be a hell of a lot better off if women were running it." We've already seen that during COVID, but I believe the same is true times whatever in the world of enterprise. Find me a container ship, he says, and I'll fill it up with studies which support that point. It is not anecdotal. So what's your take on this? And what would you say to women in their 20s and 30s aspiring to make a difference in the world and not just in the business world?
Okay, as you asked me that question, Beyonce started playing in my head. Who runs the world? Girls, girls, right? No, this is a hot topic, and I have, I think, a unique opinion, and I don't want to get into hot water, so I'm going to answer this delicately. On the one hand, we can easily point to data around pay inequities, boards that are too male in their construction, job loss. I mean, particularly for COVID, 4 times the women have lost jobs in comparison to men, some of them out of choice to be able to care for children at home. And it's negatively impacted women more than men. I mean, there's real data around that, and I don't want to minimize it. At the same time, I think in history, we have a history of embracing individuals based on sex, gender, religion, at the risk of alienating others sometimes. I mean, sometimes I worry about my men friends now that are when the focus is all about the women. So here's where I land. My advice for people in their 20s and 30s is you need to celebrate who you are as a human being. And if you label yourself, well, then so too will others. In my opinion, there's no reason why you can't present yourselves as kick-ass human beings that want to lead and help the world be well, or serve the world, as the case of hospitality, to pursue their dreams. And I was very lucky growing up in a family where my parents enabled me and my 2 sisters to believe that we could be anything that we wanted. And their mantra to us was louder than anything I ever heard in society 46 years ago. At the time. So, and it's made a world of difference in my life. So I hope that we get to a place where tomorrow's leaders, women in their 20s and 30s, that we stop othering one another, which is putting some sort of label on each other, and just start celebrating who we are as human beings and help each other to do well, live well, work well. I think that's the key. No more labels, just kick-ass business leaders.